So the holiday season is a tricky time, especially if you're an international student. Simply because, people are going home, people have Christmas plans, people have holiday plans, and if you're an international student, you may not even have the time or the money to plan around going home for Christmas. And what's even worse is I find the holiday season and like the December, January school holiday, I guess I'll call it, is too short. Like sometimes I remember my semester would start in like the 3rd of January or the 5th of January, and I'm just like, I can't even if I book a flight, like I'll be home, but I'll be home for what, a week? Like it doesn't really make sense. And so just because of those challenges, like you start to think of different ways that you can celebrate Christmas here during the holiday season. So I wanted to look back at my holiday seasons for the past 5 years, how I sort of pushed through that lonely family difficult time when I couldn't go home. And I just wanted to share that with you, just to, as I said in the video, just to encourage you. And if you're a first year and you're watching this and you're trying to figure out like, what am I supposed to do? It's holiday season, I can't go home because of COVID and all the other challenges around traveling right now. This is just to encourage you and be like, you can push through it. It's just one day, to be honest, but the holiday season can be a very lonely time if you're an international student and you're not at home. So my first Christmas year was in 2016. This was my first year in Vancouver, and I was lucky enough to bump into a very nice, kind lady. I'm not going to mention people's names because obviously I didn't ask for their permission to sort of share these stories, but I bumped into this lady randomly on campus in when I used to still live on campus, and she had a bag that had like a Swazi print thing on it. Like it was very, very Swazi, and I was like, there's no ways this is like something you can buy in Canada, in Vancouver somewhere. So I just was like, you know what, you have to be courageous and ask her where she got this bag. So I said, hi, how are you? And we talked, and I was like, where'd you get your bag? And she's like, oh, from Swaziland. And then she was asking me, are you from Swaziland? And I'm like, yes. And then through us like chatting, basically she was South African. She is South African, and her and her husband and her family moved to Canada for a couple of years ago. And so she's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm just here to say hi to my daughter. She's in her first year, same as you. And so yeah, lovely to meet you. And then we exchanged numbers, and she would just check in on me, find out how I'm doing, because she's from South Africa. I'm also Swazi, and South Africa, Swaziland, honestly, might as well be the same country. Um, so she was just like, yeah, come through, and if you ever need anything, let me know. And then around Christmas time, she reached out and she was like, come over if you'd like, if you don't have any other Christmas plans, and you can even bring a friend if you want. And so that was really nice of her. And guys, that was the best Christmas I've ever had in Canada, because we were having Southern African food, which in my mind at that time I didn't think was possible. I just thought I needed to get used to the Canadian cuisine. The food, does Canada even have like cultural food? But like the food that was here, I had just told myself that I need to get used to it. But so it was nice when I came to a place, and basically there was pap, there was purvos, there was all these things. I'm one of those people who gets really excited for food, so that was really nice and so kind of her. And it was just nice of her to invite me. I even brought a friend, and my friend really liked it. They even got us gifts. Like, it was such a nice 2017 Christmas. My friend reached out to me, and he was like, we went to the same high school, and then we both moved here to study for university. So he was like, hey, what are you doing for Christmas this year? And I'm like, I don't know, just like any other Christmas, I'll figure it out. And so he's like, yo, I actually met a family friend who is a Swazi, and she's invited me over for Christmas. And I thought of you, and I thought I should invite you if you're available. And I was like so surprised because at that time I'd been in Canada for a year and I hadn't met any Swazi, and I'd honestly told myself there are no Swazis in this part of Canada. You're the only one, and just accept it, right? So we went to her house and she invited us over for Christmas, and it was amazing. Her place is so welcoming. The way her house is, it just reminds you of Swaziland. She's a Swazi, so they were speaking Siswati. We had a lot of Swazi or Southern African food. We even had savannah. I was like, wow, it was such a great time. And another thing was like it was so nice. Both houses, the one that the first Christmas in 2016 and this one, was like there was just so much love and like so much kindness. And she said the same thing, that what, I'm from Swaziland. I also had to move abroad to study for university at some point, so I know that it can be difficult around this time. But if you ever need like just to get away from school, let me know. And you guys are always welcome in my house for dinner, for family, holidays, whatever. If you just need space, I'm here to support. And so that was really nice to hear. And even after the Christmas dinner, we continued to like visit her on weekends when we were available, and she was able to host us. So it was really nice, and it's been such a great journey and like a nice support system to have while I've been living in Vancouver. 2018 came, and this time I was like, I'm fighting, I'm going home. So luckily 2018 holiday season I went home, but prior to going home I also had another family. So my friend introduced me to this family, and they invited us over for just prior to like my flight and prior to Christmas. So I spent a few days at their place, and very welcoming, very warm. And like I think for the first time I also got to experience like what a Canadian family Christmas tradition is, where it was like there were some gifts, there was always cookies in the kitchen, there were all sorts of things to eat. Like, guys, the food was just on surplus basically. And it's nice. And I think sometimes as an international student you might think that your culture is very different, but it was very interesting for me to see that there's also like the Canadian way, or at least the way this Canadian family was celebrating the holiday season was, they've got the trees, they've decorated the house and everything, but there's still that same theme of like it's a family holidays. So it's a time for love, for kindness, for just supporting people, welcoming people in your home, and just showing love to your neighbors and all of that. So it was such a great time. And till today, like, I look back to all of these holidays and I'm like, I'm so grateful that I bumped into these people or was connected to these people in some way, and they welcomed me into their home. So 2019, my friend and I decided, what, we've been going to people's homes for the past 3 Christmases we've spent in this country. Why don't we do our own thing? So in 2019, it was really fun actually. We basically just were like, we'll celebrate Christmas the way we want to. It's not like it was any different from the way the other families were celebrating it, but it was just, I think it meant so much for us that we were like, what, we have enough money, we can put money together, plan the whole thing, have a Christmas dinner, decide, get drinks, decide who's cooking, who's doing what, and we'll just we'll relax. And we're friends, we've been friends for so long, basically your family. And so 2019, that was my first like ever family holiday where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do my own thing. And and not to say we were not invited or anything, like we're actually invited, we're just like, oh, we won't make it, we have other plans, like Christmas, because we just wanted to try something different. So that was also fun to do. 2020 for me was honestly rough. So I remember last year, even for Christmas, I was definitely not excited. I was just like, there's so many things that went left this year that I'm okay with not even celebrating Christmas. Like, it is what it is. I've accepted it. I don't really have family here, so I'm just gonna chill and figure out what I don't even know. I don't even have plans, right? But actually, luckily, then a friend of mine reached out and was like, "Hi, are you doing anything this Christmas? We're having a sleepover, and I might just show you guys the pictures." It was such a cute idea. I'd never done that, and it was like a group of girls. We met for Christmas Eve. We watched a movie. We had like some games, and then we slept over, of course, because it was sleepover. And then we had Christmas breakfast, which was different and fun. You know, it's always nice to like switch things up. So that Christmas, I just had breakfast, like really nice breakfast. I was the guest. She was like, "Feel at home. I will just treat you, and you just relax and enjoy your time here." And so that was what I did last Christmas, and it was really fun. Such a cute and different experience. And now, this year, as usual, I don't have a plan. I always approach the holiday season like that. And honestly, I'd like to go home, but we'll see, because as I said, with COVID and everything, it's been very difficult to like sort of plan a trip to go home. Like, I think just yesterday I found out that there's a new variant in South Africa, so that means all flights from South Africa have been banned in the US, and I'm pretty sure Canada will be doing the same, or making the same announcement soon. So it's just a bit difficult to know that you can't really go home. It's not even a money issue. It's not even like you don't have time. It's the holiday season. Everyone has time. Everyone kind of takes a break usually. But to know that you can't just because of COVID is kind of just a bummer. But we'll see. I might just like last minute plan to do something with some friends or whatever. But yeah, so that was my Christmas history. I don't know what to call it, but I just hope it shows you guys that, you know, I feel like I make a lot of these videos where I'm talking about what to do in Canada. This is what you must do, and like, you know, even if you follow me on social media also, like, it's very easy to sort of post the nice stuff, like the pretty pictures and all of that. But I really wanted to use this video to just encourage anyone who maybe it's their first time being away from home, and just to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone. I've been in this country for about 5 years, but I still sort of dread the holiday season just because I know my family's not around, and so I need to plan, I need to budget for it and all of that stuff. So this was just to encourage anyone who's a bit anxious about the holiday season. And remember, it's just one day, and then the next day everyone else gets back to normal, or at least towards the end of December things get back to normal, so you can survive it. I would also say, if no one invites you somewhere, try to do something with your friends. I'll probably do that this year. Come together with your friends. Come together with your friends and try to just plan something that you guys can do together. And before you know it, it'll all be over and it'll be a new year. So yeah, so that's all I had in today's video. If you've watched up until this point, thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe and like or leave a comment. That way it helps the YouTube algorithm to notice my channel and share it with other audiences. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season. I think this is the last video for the year, and then I will be back next year with more videos about life in Canada for international students. Bye.